Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanovistam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyambu Rupa Manjari Prishtakam Patita Pavana Karuniyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Izmiraha Saramurali Manohara Radhikara Sika Mama Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vrindai Tulasi Devyai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaham Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ramo Hare Hare. So first of all, I begin offering my most humble obeisances. The dust of the lotus feet of Paramaraditama Shri Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Pramhamsa Paribrajikacharya, Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudev. And to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru Nityalila Pravishta Shila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupa and Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandis, Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my respectful obeisances. All right, so by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all our masters from past, present, and future, we are able to assemble here one more time. So today is our fourth meeting. We are halfway to complete our studies. And today's lecture is about the eternal culture. It means how and why Vedas are the eternal culture. Means the Vedic culture is eternal, is the mother of all other cultures. The Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. It has been proved thoroughly. And so many other important things. Oops, what is going on? Why is it jumping? I don't understand. I move one and then come back to the next one. What is going on? I don't know. Now let's push the sidebar and it does not move. I don't know. Maybe some problem with the preview. Let me reopen, okay, this file then. Yeah. The file is. All right. Now it's fixed. All right. Can you see? Yeah. Good. Vedic culture is eternal. Everything in it resonates with God and our soul. It is the supreme truth revealed for our ultimate benefit. The more we delve into it, the more we find our true selves. So, whatever is eternal, it is connected to God because only God is eternal, right? So, why we say the Vedic culture is eternal if nothing in this world will be eternal? Even the universe itself is not eternal. How can we say the Vedic culture is eternal? Because this culture does not belong to the material world. It is not created by human beings. It is actually God's own culture. So therefore, it is eternal. So, have you ever thought that God has culture? God has uh, his way of living? You, you can think like Krishna, he's managing, he's doing so many things. He's interacting with so many devotees. And he has his own routine, right? He has his own uh, activities, his daily activities. So the way he does things, that is his culture. The way we do things is our culture, right? Like you have the Brazilian culture, you have the Austrian culture. This is the way people do things. But the way Krishna does things, this is his culture. And the name of that culture is called Vedic or Sanatana Dharma. But Sanatana Dharma is more related to what we do towards Krishna. But Vedic culture is actually what Krishna wants from us and what he and in the way he lives, he projects also in the material world, so we can also live in the same way. We should live like him. We should uh, adopt his uh, way of life. So the more we delve into it, the more we find our true selves. What are our true selves? When we talk about self-knowledge or enlightenment, uh, discovering ourselves, whatever, we are talking about something that we are, but we're not aware of, right? So our material personality right now is something that we, as observer, are not we are not comprehending fully. That is why you are in the path of self-knowledge, right? But self-knowledge here does not mean to know our material self, but to know our spiritual self. But even if your spiritual self, your material self, sorry, it is not clear for you, you are not even aware of who you are as a material personality, what to speak of who you are in a spiritual sense, right? So therefore, to progress in spirituality means to come to know who you already are as a soul, your true self as soul. This is what enlightenment means. Is when you are able to see your true self. Patanjali says that in the mirror of the chitta, you contemplate your spiritual form as well as the spiritual form of your Ishtadeva, your worshipable deity. So, in this way, the more we learn about Vedic culture, the more we learn about God, the more we can learn about us. Many people think that first they should know who they are, and then they can understand everything about the universe and God and creation. But it's the other way around. First, you have to know about the cause of all causes. You have to know the origin of everything, that is God. If you know who God is, then you understand everything else, because everything starts from Him, right? So this is much easier to go from the brother to the, what to say, qual seria o contrário? De, from the bigger to the smaller.
Narrow.
Yeah. Yeah, from the bigger to the smaller, it's much easier, because the smaller came from the big, so there is no way to miss. You're definitely going there. But if you start from the small to the big, you don't know how big it is. You don't know when it finishes, when it starts, what is the end of all of this. So forget about knowing about yourself first and dive into meditation or self-analysis, whatever. Forget about it. You have to learn who God is. And you can only learn about Him in the Vedic culture, in the Vedic literature. Okay? This is what we are going to see in the coming slides. But before, let us conclude with this more cultural thing. So great civilizations such as the Greeks, Egyptians, Babylonians, Mayans, Aztecs, Phoenicians, Sumerians, Atlantis, etc., had their zenith and subsequent decline. Only the Vedic civilization remains accessible to humanity to this day. So great civilizations that were once very powerful in this world. You can name so many. What happened to them? They disappeared completely or partially, but they disappeared. And why people keep searching for it, I have no idea. Why people keep searching for Atlantis or any other like Mayans, Aztecs, Phoenicians, whatever. Why? They've gone. They have nothing to offer to the eternity. They have nothing to offer that is beyond time and space. So, time itself was responsible for erasing them from the map. Nothing to do. Let it go. But what is the only civilization that remains accessible to you today? To this day, this is the Vedic culture. Time could not destroy it. Not only that, many invaders could not destroy it as well. And the more you try to destroy it, the stronger it gets. It gets the reverse effect. Now we must ask ourselves a fundamental question. What is so special about Vedic culture that allows it to be the only civilization to have endured from the dawn of creation to the present day? What is behind Vedic culture? Vedic culture was the first. This was already proven. And is going to be the last. But why is that? Because this is God's culture. Because this is the eternal culture. That is a culture that is always meaningful, because this is connecting us from this realm to the divine realm. This is the eternal bridge. This is the eternal connection that we cannot avoid. We cannot avoid. So we can strengthen our faith in Vedic culture from so many angles. From so many angles. And this is history. This is common to all. No one can check what I'm saying. It's not my opinion. This is not my, subjective interpretation. No. This is history for everyone. This is science. This is science. Despite the efforts of Christians, Muslims, and Buddhists to subdue and destroy Vedic culture, this tradition continues to adapt and expand not only in its homeland, India, but throughout the world, which in the distant past were also part of the Vedic Empire. So once in the past, the whole world was Vedic. We have proofs for that as well. Whole world was Vedic in the past. One example we have is the swastika. Okay. Usually when I go to the museums all over the world, I look for swastikas. And recently I was in Vienna in the museum, historical museum, and I found some swastikas there. And also then after I was in London, I went to the British Museum, and I also found many swastikas there. Everywhere you go, you find swastikas. Even in the tribes of North America, in Central America, South America, Australia, Africa, everywhere you find swastikas. Not only in pagan cultures, but in the religions itself. Christians used to use swastika. What to speak of Buddhists, but even Jewish, even Muslims. In the far past, they also were using swastikas, right? And we can also go from the point of view of words. There are so many names all around the world that are Sanskrit. For instance, the suffix stan, like we have in Afghanistan, Pakistan, all these countries' name is stan. Stan actually in Sanskrit means place. Means place. There is actually a map, and very old Vedic map, according to the descriptions of Vedas, about the continents, okay, about the position and everything. There are names for all the continents. So some continents and some places, some cities, they have kept this very, very ancient Vedic name. Like for instance, in Central America, we have a place called Ketumal. Ketumal is one of the names for that part of the world. So everything you find in the Vedas in connection with the whole world. I'm just mentioning very, very few things, but there are deep studies regarding all this. Just now Krishna Mohan has lifted a book. Yeah, Proof of Vedic Culture's Global Existence. If you want to read this book, it's very nice. This is from Stephen Knapp. He's a nice devotee, very scholar, has large research. Right. So many uh, big empires invaded India. Persians, Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and they tried to subdue, they tried to control, destroy, falsify, blaspheme the Vedic culture, and all failed. All of them failed miserably. And what happened in consequence? Vedic culture expanded even more. So this is just like love. Love is like that. Whatever comes against love only makes love increase, because love is all encompassing. Love takes over everything. Nothing can take over love, right? So Vedic culture is all about God's love, right? Because God is love, so His Vedic culture is just like a reflection of His love to everyone. So the more you try to um, uh, censor God's love, the more it expands. Any question to you now? Any comments?
I just have a question about the book you mentioned by Stephen Knapp. What was the title of the book?
Proof of Vedic Culture's Global Existence.
Thank you.
Maybe Krishna Mohan can share the link for his website on the chat, on the meeting chat. You can find on your internet there. All right, so next is, in the Vedas, we can find accurate information about the past, present, and future of humanity, as well as a vivid description of who God is and how He creates, maintains, and destroys infinite universes. The only divine personality who came to earth and revealed himself as God until today was Krishna. This is another historical fact. The God from the Bible, the God from the Torah, the God from the Quran, they never appeared. They never came. They never showed, up. Say, hey, I'm here. I'm the one you should know as, the the meaning of your life. I am the one that not supposed to be hiding from you. But they didn't come to say that. So they left everyone in the blindness of material ignorance, not knowing the most important thing to know, who God is. It should be like human rights to know who God is. If you want to demand something important in society, demand to know who God is. Then everything is solved. All the problems are solved if you understand who He is, and of course, how to uh, go to Him. But of course, you have to decide that. You have to make a vow, commitment that, oh, I don't have any other business in my life apart from knowing who God is, loving and serving Him. So this should be our only business in life. All other business should be related to it, should be connected to it somehow. So if you understand that Krishna is God and you are His servant, what else is needed? Nothing else. All the existential, you know, uh, problem, it's solved. Now you know the origin and destiny of life. Now you know what is the meaning of life and everything. So I didn't choose Krishna because I one day woke up and say, "Oh, Krishna is nice. I'm going to support him as God. I am supporting Krishna as God." Nothing like that. It was after a deep research, a deep study from all these angles. Not only the blind faith. Blind faith is not good for anyone, right? For anyone. That is why there is a quote here from Srila Swami Prabhupada that says, to explain the creation of the universe and existence of God, the Vedas use a scientific methodology, thus avoiding faith being the sole determining instrument for the foundation of their dogmas. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada declared, science without religion is atheism, and religion without science is fanaticism. Let us read again. Science without religion is atheism, and religion without science is fanaticism. Means if you do not um, base your faith in something which is universal to all, then you become fanatic. Then you try to, by any means, impose your faith to others, and your faith becomes blind. Your faith becomes blind. So, for us, it is not important to just feel that Krishna is God. No. We have to find a universal way to prove that to ourselves, even. To ourselves, even. So, that is why the Vedas are very scientific. What is the meaning of science? Science is a universal language to prove, like a method, a way to demonstrate that something is true in all times and in all places and by all people. Like a common truth. It's a common truth to all of us. So this is called science. But unfortunately, the so-called scientists, they are not scientific at all. Actually, the so-called scientists, they're actually basing their theories in faith, in blind faith. And the real scientists are those who follow the Vedic culture. Those who are devoted to Krishna. They're the real scientists because they have universal proofs for everything. And the fact is, the more this modern science comes close to the truth, the more they will repeat what the Vedas already said much before. Like the age of the universe, the beginning of life, and about gravity, about atoms, about everything. So, in the same way, science without religion is atheism. If you try to find a cause for the material universe inside of the material universe, it is illogical. It is illogical. So the origin of the universe cannot be in the universe. Because for so many reasons, but one simple point is that universe is finite and also temporary. Nothing that is temporary can give life to something which is also temporary. Because otherwise, you cannot come back to the first Mark 0. Because in the Mark 0, if everything is temporary, then you don't have that fixed beginning. So that beginning must be something eternal, something that was always there. So when they say that God doesn't exist because science cannot prove it, you have to say yes. Science was not meant to prove, science in the way that they do, of course, it is not meant to prove the existence of God, because this modern science deals with only the cosmic manifestations. It does not deal with ontology, with the study of the origin and the context. It doesn't. So it becomes illogical to say that just because science cannot prove God exists, so God doesn't exist. No, science was not meant to prove that God exists. What was meant to prove was philosophy and psychology. These two disciplines, they can prove God exists because they will deal with concept and context and origin. The beginning of mathematics is philosophy, is logic, right? Logic is common ground to philosophy and mathematics. Mathematics is the only language that the modern science can have. But mathematics only deal with the manifestation of the idea, not with the origin of the idea. What I mean to say, mathematics says that 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, but it cannot explain why 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Have you seen the number 1? Have you met the number 1 personally? Have you been introduced to the number 2? Never. Why? Because they don't exist, right? They're not created. They're not physical. Now, what they are? Concepts. So, mathematics cannot deal with that. Only philosophy can deal with that, right? So, in this way, we find so many discrepancies, so many incongruences or contradictions in the field of knowledge when they try to uh, prove something with the wrong means. Basically, this is what happened. They come, they come up with a false premise or premise. How do you pronounce premise? Premise. Premise. Yeah, they come up with a false premise to prove some true thing. Yes, based on that premise, what you want to prove was true, but you didn't check your premise, right? Your instrument, your basis, everything. So this is how the world is going on. And especially so many authors, they like to mix many types of knowledges just to look like more erudite, right? The more you mix things, the less people can understand what you want to say, and the more people will say, oh, he is a genius, because even we cannot understand what he's saying. Right? I had a school friend. He was like a real genius, and always we were praising him and say many things. And then he said, "The secret of my wisdom is your ignorance." It's not that I know too much. It's actually you know too less. Right? So in this way, there are so much display of erudition, so much display of so-called scientific theories and many things, but the fact is that they're not sure about anything. I have a presentation on quantum physics and Vedanta. Perhaps have you seen this my article somewhere? No. I have an English version of this article. Yeah. Have you read, Sandra? Yeah. So there is a part there that I quote some of the um, quantum physicists saying that, like for example, Max Planck, he says that when you enter in the temple of the science, you will see written in the doorway, you must have faith. And then also Heisenberg says, the only means we have to validate an experiment is our senses, but our senses are limited. So we cannot validate anything. And then he says, physics doesn't is not meant for find the truth, but just to prove how things looks like. So they just want to describe a very external layer of the reality, and at the same time, they will claim that they don't find God there, therefore God doesn't exist. It is a it is anti-scientific actually, to think like this. Think like this. Okay, one more slide. I think this is the last one. The English historian Dr. Arnold Joseph Toynbee states, today, Western scientific progress has physically united the world, but they have not yet learned the art of knowing and loving one another. If we wish to save humanity at this crucial moment, our only option is to follow the Hindu approach. Very beautiful. So Hindu approach means, he says Hindu, but actually this is a Vedic culture, right? Because um, actually for us this word Hindu doesn't exist. This is not part of the Vedic tradition. This name Hindu, it was given by Alexander the Great when he invaded India, and then it was kept by the Muslims, and it was universalized by the British. So, but anyhow, what he says here is very nice. He says, okay, the scientific progress of engineering, chemistry, you know, and mathematics, whatever, has united the world, like globalization, right? We have airplanes, we have nice trains, we have roads, we have now computers, internet, that made all the world come together and become united somehow by this communication, by physical access. But he said, the art of knowing and loving one another, it is not present there. They do not give that. But the only means the original union, the original United Nations, it should be to learn how to love each other and respect each other. Of course, UN is just like a political department. It's only about politics. Forget about, this is not an example for anything spiritually speaking. Even socially, what to speak of spiritually? It's just like, some organ for the elite to, manipulate things. But when you talk about real life, which people have never killed anyone because of having different religion? Which people have never persecuted any other people because of religion or because of anything? This is only the Vedic people. Only the Vedic people. In India, many Jews, they have taken shelter, many Muslims, many Buddhists, Christians, everyone is there. And the Hindus treat everyone very nicely. They will fight among themselves, they will attack the Hindus. Like nowadays, there is a big problem in South India because of the Christians and the Marxists, attacking so much the Vedic culture heavily. There is a very quick spread of Christian. What to speak Christianism? What to speak Christianity? What to speak of Muslims? Muslims are terrible, so violent. So, I mean, everywhere they go, they're creating problems everywhere. So everything that I'm telling you is easy to everyone, just observe. So if you want to make your life successful, if you want to learn how to know who is God, how to connect with Him, and how to find Him everywhere, and how to respect everyone, then you have to come to the Vedic culture. There is no other way. There is no other way.